What's going on, y'all? We back with another PBC video. Today I've been looking through some law enforcement stuff, trying to see what's pretty interesting, because the last video it did good, but to me I didn't think it was gonna do good because of the content. You know, it was just slow. You know, the video was slow, no action. But I'm thinking we're gonna watch some police catch this dude with his body language. You know, I think that might be a little interesting. So let's get into it. Oh, before we start, I want to thank for all the views, the subscribers, everything, man. That means a lot to me. You know, I would like to reach 500 so I can start doing a giveaway. I want y'all to check out the comments and, you know what I'm saying, give me some ideas, because I don't know what to give y'all except for some money. But let's get into the video.
Witnessed the exact moments when police knew Chris Watts was guilty in his family's disappearance and the eventual found murder of his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters. We're going to analyze Chris's body language from police body cameras to show you when police knew he did it. This stunning insight is next. Welcome back to the channel. Derek Van Shake here. Chris Watts is the northern Colorado man who eventually admitted to killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters on the morning of August 13th, 2018. Right now, you are watching Chris Watts cover up the scene of his crime by loading his deceased pregnant wife and 2 young daughters into the backseat of his work truck, which took him about 50 minutes that morning. His pregnant wife Shanann was found buried in a shallow grave in an eastern Colorado oil field where Chris worked, and the bodies of his 2 little girls were found dumped in oil tanks. I live just 40 minutes south of where all this happened, so this case literally hits close to home. At first, Chris Watts claimed his family was just missing, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to watch through police body cameras how this first day unfolded, and I'll point out Chris's body language, which caused police to really suspect he was guilty. Since cameras are now everywhere with doorbell cameras, police body cameras, and cell phone cameras,
I said the same thing last video.
To witness firsthand how everything unfolded and then unraveled quickly for Chris that first day. Now,
I'm sorry for pausing, but I just want to say this, y'all. Like, if y'all in a relationship situation and it just ain't working out for y'all, man, and you know what I'm saying, you feel like you get to the point where you just might spaz out, dog. It's best to leave it alone, dog, because like you said, you gonna get caught. Like, it's no getting away from that. Like, you gonna get caught. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Let's get started.
How you guys doing? What's that?
Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
How you been?
Hi.
You Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
Right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls, and she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since you left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has 1 vehicle?
No, they only have the 1 vehicle and a tow truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not
The
a...
girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats.
That's a nice house, though.
Bella's so sweet, playing with her baby.
It's a real nice house.
This morning at 9, and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Minnie Mouse out there for Christmas. But it's been absolutely gorgeous here in Colorado, like always.
Supposedly, but he said that 15 minutes ago when I called him and told him he said there's 45 minutes out still. And I know the code to the door.
You do?
I do, but there's a bang on it. There's a, no, it'll, even Chris knows you can do it. There's a, they have the thing flipped up here.
Oh. What about the garage door?
I don't
Is
know.
there... do you mind calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and get me permission to go in?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's later revealed the garage door keypad doesn't work, so the only way to get into the house is using the remote garage door opener. Chris seems to have made it so no one would be able to go through the house while he was at work, just in case he thought of extra crime scene cleanup that needed to be done while he was at work.
I'm just gonna check the back, see if I can see anything.
At this point, Officer Coonrod is logically thinking Shanann is having a medical emergency, which is why he's banging on windows to hopefully get her children to let them in to help her.
Yep, I've got to have more unless I get consent from him to go in.
Oh, no, I got a phone!
Man, poor children, man.
Yeah, you've got your Fourth Amendment rights to the house. I can't violate that. How you doing? You seen your neighbors today? No? Okay.
This is Nate, the next door neighbor with that security camera. Up until this point, of course, he had no reason to check his security camera footage.
Oh, we're just trying to get a hold of her. Felt like she wasn't feeling too good and pregnant, and they were just concerned.
You don't think
Shit. How am I gonna get here?
Now Ben is filling in Nate on what's going on, and how this is all very odd, which is naturally getting Nate more involved.
Yeah.
He told me Shannon was at her girlfriend's house.
Do we know who that is?
Do we know
Or
who?
phone number?
He didn't say.
When did he tell you that?
He needs Mr. Jackson's money. I don't get it. What did he say?
He told me that Shanann didn't take the girls to school this morning because she was going to go on a play date, but her car's here.
Hey, guys. Hold on, I'm just hopping outside right quick.
What's Chris's phone number? Hey, Chris, Officer Coonrod for the police department. Pretty good. So, do you have any idea where your wife is?
Already, Officer Coonrod feels like Chris isn't taking this seemingly serious situation seriously.
Okay. Right. What my concern is her car's here. They're saying she is diabetic. I don't want her if she's upstairs and can't respond. Okay. About how far out are you? Okay. All right. Thanks. He said like 5 minutes. So he's about here.
He's told us 45 minutes 2 times in a row. So he's just been giving us false times and everything. And we know he's been lying because his stories aren't adding up.
Now, the police officer is receiving even more to build on that negative impression of Chris. Obviously, Chris's story of where Shanann and the kids could be is not adding up because he's lying and can't keep his story straight. But why has he been saying he's 5 minutes away for the past 45 minutes? It's likely because while at work, he thought of something that needed cleaning up and didn't want anyone to bust in before he was able to alter his crime scene.
I mean, I don't see anything out of place. I'm not hearing kids. I'm not hearing anything.
No, Cece. Clean up. Remember clean up?
What's Shannon's number? I don't hear the phone ring or anything.
The neighbor has a camera system.
Mm-hmm.
See how Ben is rubbing his palms together? That's a sign of positive expectancy. And in this situation, he's expecting information from Nate's camera that will help locate Shanann and the kids.
So he's told us 3 different stories. So the neighbor over there said he has a camera.
Shannon, are you home?
This kid keeps me going.
Police department, if anyone's inside, make yourself known.
Is that airplane?
Police department, if anyone's inside, make yourself known.
Is that Bella?
Yeah, you'd think they were here, the kids or someone would respond though. You'd hear some kind of noise.
When Chris finally gets home with the police officer standing right there, he goes to the passenger side of his truck to get something? The officer must be thinking she could be dying in there. Why didn't you just quickly hit the button to open the garage and sprint into the house to find out if your family's okay?
Maggie, I'm here. Yeah, get me on the phone. Okay, get me on the phone.
Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
She would drive? Okay.
More diddle-dallying. Instead of running into the house, he goes into his wife's car to either put something into her car or take something out. Regardless, it's very likely he did something that he thinks will help cover his tracks or make it appear he's less guilty.
You know there's no way you can look for today? During the daytime?
Now, neighbor Nate is beginning to search through his security camera footage. Everything's already headed downhill for Chris Watts.
Chris is in the house. We're standing outside the police office. Can we go in the house?
Chris was alone in the house for 1 minute and 15 seconds. I think it's safe to say that he wasn't looking under the beds for his family during that time.
I mean, that's up to him. It's his house. If you guys...
Nikki, I'm giving you permission to walk in my daughter's house.
Mind if I come in, Chris? Okay. You checked upstairs? She's not there? I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere. You mind if I look around?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Upstairs is when Chris's performance really begins.
Down her phone.
Oh. Well,
All the girls blankies are gone.
um,
Their blankie they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
good.
What you'll notice is how Chris throws in diversion evidence and diversion dialogue, which he thinks will help divert people from looking at him as suspect number one and start to believe the ridiculous story that his family just vanished.
Nothing else appears to be missing, though. Just stuff you'd take for a quick trip.
Her phone's here? Her phone's here.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
See how Nicole just flailed her left hand right after she touched Shanann's phone? It was as if Shanann's phone burnt her hand. It's because touching Shanann's phone made the likelihood that Shanann is in danger very real, and it was very emotionally painful for her to touch it.
She works this is her lifeline.
It was shut down?
Yeah.
The officer knows people just don't shut down their phones in their own home. This is adding to the officer's suspicion of Chris.
You know her passcode?
I don't know her passcode.
It used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
Now, the officer is asking him questions to understand whether he has a decent alibi to decide Chris's level of involvement in all of this.
And then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning, and then she got back last night. About 2 a.m. Flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
Notice the officer's left hand. It's up to his face, and it's up to his face a lot here on out. But we don't know where it is exactly on his face. If his hand is on his cheek or high chin area, it's a sign of evaluation. If it's on his chin, it's decision. But if it's covering his mouth, it's likely he thinks Chris is lying. We sometimes cover our mouths when we don't like what's coming out of someone else's. Have you ever covered your mouth when someone else told you bad
Yeah,
news?
I have.
Can you look at your camera to see you finished?
And I tend to do that more often than
That's why I say left out the front door.
I think.
Very typical of someone who's guilty. Chris is coming across as very negative and not at all proactive. When we lose something or someone we really want back, even long shot ideas always seem worthwhile trying. Chris is hardly giving any ideas or jumping on any reasonable suggestions.
Where do you get to go to school at?
Primrose and Mr. Rose.
This could have been a little test thrown at Chris by the officer.
I
He
feel
may have
so
wanted to
bad,
see if
man.
Chris
Them
would
beautiful
jump on the
children,
idea
yo.
to call the school because they
What
were
make-
originally supposed to
What
go
makes
to
a
school
man
that
do
day.
kill his family?
Not whatsoever.
A beautiful family.
Notice Chris and Nicole are both acting scared and nervous with a lot of pacing around and nervous fidgeting. But there's a huge difference between the two. Chris's nervousness is directed inward for himself because he's nervous he'll get caught. Nicole's nervousness is directed outward because her friend appears to be in danger.
I'm not a law school. I don't know where she's at, where the kids are at.
That's his line. If he were a pull-string doll, that's what he would say.
I have no inclination of where they're at right now. I have no idea like where they went. I have no inclination of where she is. I don't have no inclination of where she is.
The guy with the camera said nobody left the house during the day. All the people that showed up in the driveway and entered it were us.
Immediately, she looks at Officer Coonrod in a look of shock realization that Chris must be involved. I'm sure the officer gave Nicole a similar look, but more muted.
What's that?
Nicole holds her chin while looking at Chris in a sign of decision.
Your neighbor.
Now she rubs the front of her neck in self-comfort due to the troubling news. So,
Yeah.
what's Chris's reaction to that shocking news? Watch this.
Your neighbor, he has cameras. He said that the only people that left the house were you and the one that the door was shut, I think. But that's all he has.
I dropped her off.
Okay. But who left and entered? Okay.
Chris just says, okay. He knows that news makes him look very guilty. Chris tried to brush aside that shocking and troubling news to downplay its importance in front of the police officer. But the officer saw what Chris was trying to do, so now Chris's guilt has become very obvious. Now it seems Officer Coonrod throws Chris a little test to see how guilty Chris really feels. As you just saw, he walked a few feet behind Chris, and if you never saw a man shit his pants, watch this.
Dispatch work 91. You can cancel.
Look at that terrified look on his face. He thought the officer was radioing him in to arrest him right there.
The medical if they're staged.
I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't really saying much because I'm just like, I'm like, I don't know. I feel terrible for the family, the friend, the everything. But like, I don't even know.
Chris buries himself even more in his phone to escape the tension he's feeling, likely texting love messages to his secret mistress. Yep, more playing with his phone instead of figuring out solutions to find his family. The police officer, of course, is taking all of this in, and it looks like his hand is higher up on his face now, likely covering his mouth at this point in shock and disagreement with what Chris is saying, not saying, and how he's acting. Now, some light fact-finding and interrogation comes.
So what time do you work?
Usually, once I get to work, it's like 6:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
You usually work nights or days?
Days.
What time do you leave the day?
What time I leave there? Come
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Alright. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, she's going back.
Does she usually watch the kids, or you have daycare watch them? Or?
She usually watches the kids at her high school.
Okay.
The pool! To anyone who doesn't know what Chris knows, that's a logical possibility of where she and the kids could be. They could walk to the community pool. Some people don't bring their phones to the pool. Also, very little clothes or objects get taken to the pool.
That's true.
So that would explain why things aren't missing. It's a hot day in August. That's where they could be. Now let's watch Chris's response to that idea.
At the pool?
Yeah.
center thing right here?
There's a pool right down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here for like off and on for 3 hours. You're nothing.
Alright, I can run down there and check.
That's his response for a logical place they could be? He's like, I don't want to have to walk outside.
I would've been
It's hot
like,
out there.
oh,
Stop
shucks, yeah,
interrupting
they
me
could
while
be
I'm
at the
texting my
pool.
girlfriend.
Like, had
Did
some
Chris
kind of hope,
really
you know?
think he could just say, I don't
Not
know where
brush
my
it off.
family's at,
Could've been the
hang
more-
back, text his mistress girlfriend, and get away with annihilating his family? Chris Watts must seriously be the dumbest person on earth. It's obvious Chris doesn't want them back, so the officer now asks Chris about marital issues.
You guys have any kind of issues, marital issues, or
We're going through separation.
you are? You guys filed yet or anything, or just talking about it?
No, we're gonna sell the house and do a separation.
And how's that going?
It's going
Civil for the most
civil.
part, or?
Then goes back to the pool idea to understand why he's not jumping on a real possibility.
Yeah, why are you
of
not
where
going
he
to
could
check?
find his family.
Does your wife go to that swim pool often, or the,
It just depends. I mean, on a hot day like this, I would say no.
Yeah, okay, Chris, because people go to outdoor pools on cold days. He's just making excuses so he doesn't have to walk outside on a hot August day. But Chris thinks what he's saying seems believable because he thinks everyone, including the police, are as stupid as he is.
At 5:27 a.m., the overhead garage door 2 was left open and never shut. About that time. So either like when I pulled away and shut the door, it never shut. It was shut when you got here. So either the sensor was tripping out.
Chris now provides miscellaneous info to divert, cover his tracks, and in his mind, make himself seem more innocent. Now, Chris walks into the bedroom, but for what? Well, it's his big reveal. Watch this. Yep, Shanann's wedding band. But look at how he's holding it. Far away from his body on the tip of his pointer finger, as if he's presenting it to Nicole on a stick, clearly indicating with that body language that he doesn't want any part of what that wedding band represents. Did you notice his lips sucked in right there? That's his way of holding back a duping delight smile.
does she do her work from a laptop, or is it just
Phone.
just from the phone? It's not a joint account.
It's a joint account, but like she controls all of it. Like she doesn't let me do the finances because I was pretty horrible back in the day, so she just kind of handles all that and she does it. I have the apps on my phone, but I don't have her login to get into it.
More excuses for inaction. The officer sees that Chris doesn't want to find them, but of course they need to be found whether he wants them to be found or not. So the officer starts asking more questions to take charge.
What days does she typically do work? Where are they based out of? Does she have someone that she reports to, though? There was no note or anything?
I think I would like to have known that information.
Is any of her
I guess it's
clothes,
just
anything
random.
like that missing?
He skipped right through the information.
It didn't look like she went through and packed up
No, I mean,
a bag
she
or
is-
anything. Tell you anything about leaving, moving out?
Not moving out. I mean, the last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she's going to take the kids to a friend's house, and that's where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today and never heard anything. But car's here.
Right.
Here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her, nobody's seen her.
Right.
SpongeBob, why do you look so scared?
That, of course, was a bold-faced lie. But did he seem believable to you? First, body language of what he did okay. Making good eye contact and showing open palms. But he did a lot of subtle things which indicated a lie. Watch again.
The last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she's going to take the kids to a friend's house, and that's where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today and never heard anything. But car's here.
Right.
Here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her, nobody's seen her.
Right.
So, what do you think? First, his eye contact wasn't natural and was holding it to see if the officer was buying what he was saying. especially at the end. Second, overuse of hand gestures. He did this to overcompensate for his lie and try to come across as more convincing. Third, notice the shakiness in his voice, a lot of atypical stuttering, stammering, and pausing. Fourth, incongruency between his tonality and his words. There's no sign of shock, sadness, or being scared.
Yo, shout out to the people that can like read people's body language and like just know when people are lying. Like even like good liars. Like it's the small stuff like, you know, gestures, language, tone, facial expressions, and all that stuff. Like it takes a lot to learn somebody's you know, whether someone's telling the truth or not. And, it takes a real talent too, man.
Smart, just drive around, see if
Here, Chris's smile is so out of control, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Probably not, because I mean, you don't know what car she's in, where she's at. I mean, obviously you're not going to see her car. It's here.
What is there to smile about? Your pregnant wife and kids
is
are
missing.
missing. That's what the officer is thinking.
I've got my detective coming, just because this is kind of an odd situation.
The officer mentions calling in his detective, but excuses it as the situation is just odd. Police don't want to scare a suspect into thinking they're a major suspect, because the last thing they want is their suspect number one to hire a lawyer and shut their mouth. Police need to keep their top suspect optimistic of walking free, so the suspect keeps talking and providing information.
Tell him I'll be there in just a minute.
Next, they go into the neighbor's house to watch the security footage for the very first time.
What's that?
And here's neighbor Nate again, and Chris Watts is standing right there beside the TV. This part is unbelievable.
Like, watch the TV to see what's going on with your wife.
My book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I have in the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping unit rubbers today.
Keep in mind, this is just 12 hours later. He's now watching himself, for the first time, cover up his murders, with a police officer watching along with him. He's about to shit himself.
So I was out so far.
Is this on continually recording?
Notice Chris's nervous gulp as Officer Coonrod confirms his interest in the footage. Notice his face is getting shiny with sweat.
Yep. Well,
it's not. Is it motion or is it?
Event.
Okay, so it's motion.
Any motion event that happens, but I get cars driving from this street, from this street. This is him at 517.
Chris is burying his head into his phone to mentally escape where he is right now. Yes, it's likely he's texting his mistress girlfriend to keep himself distracted. Also, notice how close he's holding his phone to his body. Very defensive body language, which actually increases the likelihood he's texting his secret mistress.
Park out there on the side. I just want to get everything back in. It'd be easier to lug everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in.
Constant defending and explaining implies guilt. Notice how he looked completely away from the TV to the door with a deep breath. But what does that all mean? Many things. First thing, he doesn't like what he sees on the screen. Now, this may sound too simple, but it's true. We look away from things we don't like, and we look at things we do like. This includes automobiles, homes, jewelry, and even security footage. Second, the fact that he looked all the way around to the front door shows that he wants to get out of there. Third, very deep breath. Fight or flight instinctual defense mechanism kicked in. This naturally happens when we feel threatened. Our body's heart rate increases quickly in preparation for a fight or to run away. Now, Chris puts his hands on top of his head in an attempt to calm down so he can appear less nervous. Have you ever seen a marathon runner strike this pose when they cross the finish line? It's to open up the airways to allow for maximum airflow to calm their heart rate down. Chris is doing this to reduce his signs of nervousness. Even someone as dumb as Chris knows he can't show how nervous he really is when watching himself act suspicious on the security footage, because that's a huge red flag he's guilty. Now, swaying back and forth in nervousness while watching himself pull his truck partway into the garage, which was of course to create cover for loading his family's bodies into his truck. Notice his lips are tightly pursed, which indicates withholding the truth. His heart rate here is so high due to nervousness, he felt the need to hold at least one hand over his head at all times. His nervous swaying back and forth is so over the top. It's like he's slow dancing with himself. Now he's looking away, thinking of something in a blank stare. I like to think he's wondering whether or not he'll ever be allowed conjugal visits, or if it's just going to be Bubba. What do you think Chris is thinking about? The length of silence here says so much. Because what do you say when you're watching a likely murderer watch himself cover up his murders, which were committed that morning?
Because if there was any sort of action out there,
his camera's
I would have got it.
Like
Right.
Sunglasses fall because the sweat that formed on his head reduced friction for them to stay up. Also, his incredible nervousness caused him to be less spatially aware.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that. And I had parked my truck
I had
here.
to park right here.
Yeah.
This is a typical sign of a liar, which is diverting. When a liar is being pressed on a key issue, they'll start to talk about other, somewhat related things in great detail, which accomplishes two things. First, it makes the liar come across as open and honest, because they're surrendering information. Second, they're able to avoid talking about the key issue in which they're guilty of or lying about.
So I can see where someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver.
Chris is showing little to no interest in using Nate's camera to figure out where he can find Shanann and the kids. Chris is treating this as his time to defend himself.
Over there, and it was just like...
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would have
it would have been like right in that area. It should have picked me.
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, unless they pulled right here,
Yeah.
but I would have caught her walking out.
Chris looks away completely in defeat because he knows all video evidence points to him.
Nothing for the rest of the day.
No, that's it.
Coincidentally, how babies are born comes up on Nate's TV, and of course Chris seizes on that idea to make it appear he's concerned about the safety of his pregnant wife. Watch.
She's pregnant as well.
It's like he says what he thinks he should say based on what he saw in movies, not based on the empathy he feels or even could imagine feeling. Very typical of someone with antisocial personality disorder.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks.
I think I might just stick to my, like, people stealing and stuff, because this makes me so mad, dog. Like, you sit there, killed your wife, your kids, and you sitting here, like, acting like they ain't nothing. You lying about it.
I'm fast forwarding, but you can still see him sway back and forth with his lips sucked in and his arms folded in tightly to his body. That signals Chris is giving himself as much self-comfort as possible while standing.
So nothing, no cars came through because I guarantee with the headlights, it picks up the headlights.
Oh, yeah. And my villain said that at 5:27, my garage door was left open.
Why is Chris now talking about a faulty garage door sensor? Yep, diversion.
It says it was shut during the day, but I think when Nikki's son, he may try to move the door around, maybe when they were trying to get in the garage door, and it probably broke the laser there.
And what does that have anything to do with finding your pregnant wife and 2 kids? Yep, just diversion.
Our remote on the outside doesn't work anymore. It got wet.
Chris is trying everything he can to avoid talking about the real issue. How did they leave the house if the only way to leave the inside locked house was from the garage door that has a motion sensor camera on it? Obviously, he wants to stay far away from that topic.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Hopefully something comes up, dude.
No, bud.
How can you shake the hand of the dude that just busted your case? I know he wanted to seem like he wasn't part of it, or whatever you want to call it, but like, as a murderer, you didn't think that there's ring cameras. I think almost everyone has ring cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like, or some type of camera or some type of something, you know. And he just thought, oh, maybe let me. I'm not persuading his murder case or whatever, but like, or trying to help him come up, or help people come up with ideas with their murder, but stupid.
You just want to go talk to him? I'm going to get his info real quick.
Now we get to find out what neighbor
they
Nate
think.
really thinks.
Yeah.
Watch this.
No.
Yeah, he read that.
Apparently, Nate was doing a little body language evaluation on Chris during all of that.
Right.
And it doesn't look like he came from right here. It looks like he came from down the street. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is why would he pull past this part? You can see him pull past.
Are you able to record this?
But watch, you'll see him get out. And he walks back and forth a couple times. To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently.
Yeah.
That's not the always calm and easygoing Chris he was leading everyone to believe.
It just seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull the truck up and go to the garage? If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth, because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox, book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug, and that's it.
Yep, Nate was referring to Chris's baseline and how this morning's actions drastically deviated from that baseline.
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage. And he knows my camera's there.
Yep, that's how Shanann and the kids left the house, and they know it.
It's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. The cutoff, the truck's in the garage right now. And he never backs his truck into the driveway ever. That is so suspicious. He's normally, you can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
Yeah, but I mean, put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
You know, anyone's going to be nervous. You don't know what to do.
Wait, did Officer Coonrod completely buy what Chris was saying? I think the officer was trying to not let on to anyone knowing that police think Chris is very guilty. Because police can't risk anyone knowing that they're onto him, since it may get back to Chris. If Chris feels they're after him, he may stop open dialogue with police, lawyer up, shut his mouth, and test his luck with the jury.
Yeah.
Then what are the chances of finding Shanann and the girls? Yes, much smaller. Have you ever noticed police never aggressively accuse? They never say things like, everyone knows you're guilty, just admit it. Who would want to open up to someone like that? Law enforcement wants to come across as your friend, where they empathize with you, and sometimes even appearing to side with you, so you voluntarily share information with them. That's the most effective way for law enforcement to solve cases. Police quickly knew Chris Watts was guilty because his body language showed little to no interest in finding his wife and 2 little girls, and even came across as happy that they were gone, because sadly, that's what he wanted, a new life without a wife and kids. His nervous body language, especially watching his neighbor's security footage, also gave him away, because as much as he tried to hide it, it was obvious he was guilty and was scared of getting caught. Now in the comments, what do you think Chris Watts was thinking about when he was watching his neighbor's security footage? Let everyone know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up so I know you liked it.
Yo, shout out to Derek Van something, but I literally hate stuff like that, yo. Like,
Find out.
oh, this is interrogation. Okay. I'ma save this. I'm gonna save this so we can watch that later on the next video or whatever. That was yeah, that was the video about the dude killing his wife, pregnant wife and 2 kids, man. Sitting here acting like he ain't. It's crazy. But tell me what y'all think. Tell me what y'all thought, and tell me some situations where y'all feel like hurting somebody and just used your human sanity to just walk away from it, or whatever you want to call it, because this is crazy. Thanks for watching. Hope to see y'all again, and have a blessed day, y'all. And like I said, once again, let's get to 500 subs so I can give y'all get a giveaway going on. But till then, have a blessed day.